Look, my predictions are shocking. I've done predictions for League One throughout the season and the World Cup. They are pitiful. And they were pitiful for the first leg of the playoffs as well. So you should really do yourself a favour and go and find somebody that actually knows what they're talking about. But if you insist on staying, then all I can say is hello everybody and welcome back to another video on this channel. I'm going to do predictions for the second leg of the League One playoffs. We've got one tie, which seems like it's pretty much over. We've got one tie, which is absolutely in the balance. Let's find out who is going to go to Wembley and who gets the consolation prize of visiting Oxford United's beautiful three-sided Kassam Stadium next season. As always, I put timestamps down below so you can jump to any of the games should you choose to. And feel free to do that. But if you do, the least you can do, the very least you can do is hit that like button. That helps me out so much. And if you also like the content, then think about subscribing to the channel as well. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into the first of these games. It is time for Sheffield Wednesday versus Peterborough United. And this one looks pretty much done and dusted, doesn't it? Congratulations to Peterborough. You Posh fans must be over the moon. Who saw this result coming? Who thought that they would beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-0 at London Road on Thursday or Friday night, wasn't it? Friday evening. I certainly didn't. I don't think many other people would have predicted a 4-0. It did seem that fortune favoured the Posh on Friday evening. First goal being a howler from Dawson in goal. Second one, good strike but was deflected. And third and fourth goals, very good goals on the counter-attack, made Sheffield Wednesday look a little bit silly, I must say, with those third or fourth goals, where they cut through them quite easily. But also there was a pretty huge penalty shout, which could have gone Wednesday's way and maybe could have swung the tie back in their favour. It didn't, and Peterborough are in firm control. They've got at least 1 foot in the final, maybe a foot and a half in the final, but they've got to go to Hillsborough. They've got to get the job done. They've got to manage the game as best they can. I don't imagine that Darren Ferguson's really going to change too much in that starting lineup. I mean, why would you? Unless there's any injuries that I haven't been aware of. Peterborough are not a possession-based side, and I think that is perfect, really, for this one. They don't really mind Sheffield Wednesday having the ball. And they're not really the most creators of side, Sheffield Wednesdays, either. So Peterborough will fancy their chances of just being able to sit quite nicely in a shape and then break on this Sheffield Wednesday side with that front four that were pretty devastating. And if you bring the fullbacks into that as well, the front six really that just were able to break and get beyond Wednesday with so much speed and so much movement. The likes of Mason Clark and Poku. I mean, I think it was Poku early on in the game, just got the ball, beat a Wednesday player, and he was off into acres of space. And they did that, seem to do that time and time again. Burrows and Ward are so good at getting up and able to support the play. And as you saw, that it was an assist for Burrows. There was a goal for Ward, but Taylor was really the star man in this game with a goal and an assist. I know the goal was a bit of a fortunate one with a bit of a howler from Dawson, but his overall play was absolutely fantastic. And then, Clark Harris, he didn't really do that much in the game, I would say. But then at the end, he steps up. He's there when you need him to. He tucks away that goal to make it 4-0. And that's the thing about this one, isn't it? Sheffield Wednesday have got to do so much has got to go in Sheffield Wednesday's favour if they're going to turn this one around. And Peterborough, you just feel over the course of 90 minutes with Wednesday having to push on, they are going to create chances in this game. And you cannot see, it's going to be really hard for Wednesday to keep Peterborough to 0, to stop them scoring. And they've got, and say, they don't even need to score. They just have to be able to put pressure on Wednesday when they can. And they've certainly got the players to be able to do that on the counter-attack. But this is all going to be about how can Sheffield Wednesday climb this mountain and get back into it. It's going to be a weird one at Hillsborough. Those fans are going to be ready to turn on their side. I've seen it this season with Oxford when they were on the cusp of sacking Carl Robinson, how the final home game when we started losing, the place just turned really nasty. And that could be like that at Hillsborough. There's a lot of fans ready to turn on this team and turn on Darren Moore. And just hoping that isn't going to be the case. And what Wednesday need to do is you feel they need to get an early goal in this one. And I know that is bloody obvious, but these games where you're chasing it, everyone just thinks you need to go bull out of a gate, chase it, get goals as quick as you can. And whilst that is ideal, it's not really practical. I think obviously Wednesday are going to start the game in a very fast pace. Again, I don't really see there's going to be too many changes from that Wednesday side that started. They do need to play with a lot more intensity when they've got the ball as well. I thought they were pretty lacklustre when they had possession. I mean, the only really time they did create stuff from open play was when Peterborough made a mistake and they were able to pick it off, which was the case with the early chance for Smith. And when a couple of times when they did get Windass in behind, there was one good chance as well when Norris made a good save from a Windass running in from a through ball. But other than that, Wednesday were very much kept at arm's length. I thought Bannon was very quiet, and it was really set pieces where Sheffield Wednesday looked the most dangerous. But that doesn't mean that they can't score 4 goals from set pieces. They're more incapable of doing that. And that is something that they will definitely look to attack this Peterborough lineup. But if they can get a goal early, if they can get a goal in the first 10 minutes, it does get the crowd on their side. It does play on the nerves of those Peterborough United players. They don't need to chase this one, as I said, like a bull out of a gate and get like 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. If you get 1 in the first 10 minutes, that's great. I mean, and even if it's 1-0 at half time, Sheffield Wednesday are still in the game. They can still go out and they can, as long as the goals do come in a reasonable time, and even if it's 4-2 and they need 2 goals in the final 10 minutes, you know that the crowd is still going to be on their side and you can still play on the nerves. Peterborough will go into what we hold mode. They will. Sheffield Wednesday just have to also make sure that they do keep that back door shut and they don't concede goals, because if as soon as Peterborough get 1, that mountain becomes even harder to climb. And again, I'm going to use an Oxford analogy. A few years ago, we were playing Blackpool in the playoffs. We lost the first leg 3-0. We went away from home. We did get an early goal, but then we were too cavalier, too gung-ho, and Blackpool got almost immediately straight back into it, and it just seemed to kill the game straight away. So Wednesday have to make sure that they don't give anything cheap to Peterborough, and they have to keep plucking away. They've got the players to do it. Michael Smith and Windass, especially Windass, he looks like a player who can really get in behind and create chances and make something happen. And Bannon's got to play better. They need more from the width as well. I thought Marvin Johnson, one thing Peterborough were good at, they were good at getting the ball down and good at getting the ball forward, either through passing or getting players dribbling, taking players on and creating space. And you really didn't see that from Marvin Johnson much at all. I thought he had a really poor game. He's capable of so much better. But strange things happen in football. Funny things happen in football. I can't see it happening, but I would love to see Sheffield Wednesday run Peterborough close in this one and make it a really close encounter. I just don't think it's going to happen for Wednesday. I don't think they're going to score enough goals, and I don't think they're going to be able to keep a clean sheet. I think my prediction for this one is going to be Peterborough, bloody obviously, going to Wembley. Sheffield Wednesday fans, it's going to be interesting to see where you pick the pieces up from this season. I can't see Darren Moore staying in the job, but let me know down below. And Posh fans, let me know about your thoughts on this game. And if you do go to Wembley, whether you're confident of getting the job done. I think this is going to end up with a Sheffield Wednesday win, but not enough to overturn the tie. It's going to end Sheffield Wednesday 2, Peterborough United 1. Move on to game number 2, and it's going to be Barnsley versus Bolton Wanderers. This game was so much more evenly matched than the game we saw at the first one. It ended 1-1 from the first leg. You did have a bit of although both sides played pretty much the same formation, you did have a contrast in styles. You had Bolton having the lion's share of possession, with Barnsley quite happy to sit back and pick Bolton off when they could. That being said, I don't think that Bolton did a lot with the 61% possession that they had in this game. There was a lot of possession for possession's sake, and they didn't really trouble Isted in goal too many times. I thought it was Barnsley who did look the more likely to get goals in this game. I thought Cole and Tedic worked a lot better, and I thought that forward line behind those two, including the wing backs, were a lot more industrious. And when they did pick Bolton off, they were able to counter and create chances, and they did look a lot more dangerous. what we have seen as well is both sides do have really good defences in this one, so it's not going to be an easy game for sides to create chances. I just feel that Barnsley, especially at Oakwell, are going to create more chances in this game. Bolton's back line, they did try and pass their way out of the back, and at times they did come a cropper with it. At times they did give some sloppy possession away. As I said, I would much like it if they were able to get the ball forward quickly and try and play football in better areas. I feel that Bradley early on in the game did do that and did create a chance. I think it was Kachunga actually who got the chance into Charles. But there was many times where Bolton weren't really able to do that. I actually thought Bolton looked a little bit more lively when the subs came on, like Lundulo, like Adebayo. When they came on, I did thought they were quite lively, and they had a great chance at the end of the game where I think the ball fell to Lundulo or it was Adebayo, one of the two of them, and Anderson made a wonderful block, like out of nowhere, like stretched his body. It almost seemed like it was certain to make it 2-1 to Bolton, but it didn't. And this one is quite tight and it is quite even. Will the fact that Barnsley generally are a much stronger side at Oakwell make a difference? I can't imagine that Bolton will have as much possession as they had in the first game. I found actually Barnsley will be more proactive, more on the front foot, and try to dominate this game a lot more. I don't think that necessarily is a bad thing for Bolton either. They say they are quite good at their back, they are quite resilient, and as we've seen in this one, I did worry for Bolton when they went a goal down. Really good finish by Nicky Cadden, but it did come from a set piece, and Barnsley did look quite dangerous from set pieces as well, but Bolton stood up to it. Trafford in goal had a great game, and that back line of Tull, Johnson and Santos I thought also were very solid too. But that was a great strike by Nicky Cadden. It did come from a second phase from a corner, but it was a hell of a strike. And then I was really worried how Bolton would respond, but the response was fantastic. Got that goal back really, really quickly through Dion Charles, their main man, getting on the score sheet. So this one is such a tight game. It's going to be two sides really cancelling each other out for a large part of this 90 minutes. My head leans more towards Barnsley, just with them being the home side and how good they have been at Oakwell this season. But Bolton are a really, really tough side to break down. Don't give too much away. I just worry that outside of Charles, where the goals are going to come from this Bolton side. But I have a funny feeling that this game is going to go all the way to penalties. I just don't think it's going to be. I just don't think we're going to find a winner in the 120 minutes. I think it's going to end. I think it's actually going to be another 1-1 draw. Yeah, it's going to be Barnsley 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. It's going to go all the way to penalties. I think the only fair way to do this is with a coin toss. I nearly said coin toss. There we go. But let's see. Toss of a coin. 2p coin. That shows how cheap I am. Not quite as cheap as a 1p coin, but just a little bit better than that. So heads is going to be Bolton. Tails is going to be Barnsley. What a method. But there we go. Congratulations, Barnsley. Commiserations, Bolton. But I do think it's going to be the Tykes that go through on penalties. But really, you shouldn't really matter at all, because as I said, my predictions are absolutely horrible, and you should be thankful if I've backed against your side, because it's more likely that is who is going to be the victor at the end of the day. So not all is lost, Wednesday and Bolton fans. But as I said, remember, you do have the fact that you can play Oxford United next season, which is a big banner tie in your season, no doubt. But that will do it for predictions. Just a little bit of fun, as always. Good luck to all of the sides in there. Let me know your comments down below. As I say, if you can hit like, that helps me out a lot. And I'll be back to do a predictions video for the final. Hope they're two good games, and I will see you very soon.